Okay, whenever you're doing stuff like this, there's always something that comes up. You just got to keep your cool and work around it. I really like the tarnished design on this top, but a part of that has also made it kind of fragile. And with us putting leverage on this corner, you can see this corner, this whole corner is wanting to snap off. I don't want to lose it. I could just snap it off and redo the legs and move them in, but I really like the way this corner looks, so I want to try to keep it. Now, one thing I'm going to do is go through and I'm going to add some steel plating to it. So I can put a few screws inside this way, in this way, and I may even add some on this side. If they flip it upside down, of course it's not going to look appealing, but we're not making a perfect piece of furniture. We're making something that's aged and tarnished and had some abuse. That's the look we want to go for, so we can get away with doing stuff like this. It's almost like having vintage jeans that have holes patched on them. Makes them kind of more vintage, right? Anyways, we're going to work with what we got and see how it comes out. All right, now it's time to start filling in all these holes. It looks like we have some natural holes in the wood. We got lots of cracks that need to be filled in, lots of little nicks and crannies that need to be filled in. So of course I planned ahead and ordered stuff ahead of time. No, I didn't. I just hopped on Amazon last night and found the most inexpensive resin that I could that would be here next morning. Now these are something like $30. It's a 1-to-1 mixture resin, epoxy resin. And then I got this dye kit for $9. I wanted a black dye, but just a single black dye was like 30 bucks. And then they had this kit that has all these different flakes and colors for $9. So, you know, we're just filling in small spots. I figured I'll just try the inexpensive stuff for now. And now that I'm looking at it, I may actually try a different color. Or maybe a few colors. Let's see. Our little Foster's fitting right in. Aren't you with your gorgeous amber eyes? All right, to mix this stuff, it's just a 1-to-1 ratio. What that means is just 1 part hardener, 1 part resin. Hey, get out of that. Knucklehead. Big heavy breathing, colossal, they getting in stuff. Now there are some different resins that are 5-to-1, some are 2-to-1, so you just gotta read the container and see what it is. But 1-to-1 ratios are always gonna be the easiest. All we're gonna do, say we want 8 ounces. We're just gonna go on this cup, we're gonna go up to 4 ounces. We're gonna put 4 ounces of the hardener in here. And then we're gonna go up to this cup, go up to 4 ounces and put 4 ounces of the resin. And then we're just gonna mix them both at the same time and stir it up nicely. Now you may be thinking, why don't you just put 4 ounces of resin here and 4 ounces of epoxy in here and then mix it up and stir it? I don't know. The directions on all these resins have always been to pour them in separate containers and then pour them simultaneously into a larger container. I don't know what the science is behind it, but I'm just going to do it the way they say to do it. Now the directions on these don't say that you have to pour them into a separate container, but every other resin that I've purchased in the past says that, so we're just going to keep to that philosophy and assume there's some kind of method to the madness. I already fed you, man. I don't know if y'all have seen Tank, my new shop cat. He's our new mouse sheriff. He's supposed to be feral. So they have a rescue out here called Barn Cat Inc. There's a few different ones under different names. But what they'll do is a lot of the rescues have feral cats or semi-feral cats that can't be adopted out. So what these guys will do is go and take these feral cats and set them up in barns. It's a really cool process. Keep a long story short, they put a bunch of crates in here all velcroed together so they have a long run. They live in it for about 2 weeks getting used to you and you feeding them. You let them out into the shop for about a week. They get used to the shop and then you can start letting them outside. But yeah, here's my feral cat from Barn Cat Inc. You just so feral. He's so feral. We named him Tank because he's fat. But he's our new barn and shop sheriff. Keeps all the mice and rodents out of here. All right, go. You don't need no more food, fatty. All right, back to work. As you can see, he's not scared of the dogs. He'll go and stand nose to nose with Colossus like, do something. All right, we're just going to start with 8 ounces for right now. Pour the mixtures together. All right, we're just going to stir it for a few minutes. I think I'm going to try blue. Yeah, why not? I don't know. It doesn't say how much. So we're just going to try that. See. Ooh. Ooh. That's cool. That's cool. It's a very neon kind of marble kind of blue. That's cool. That was like, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 drops. That is very potent. How cool is that? You don't need no more food. You're getting fat. You don't need no more food. Don't do that. You're lying. You're not hungry. You're bored. You need to start running around chasing stuff and get to your fighting weight. All right, I almost forgot. I do need to, a few of these holes go all the way through, so I'm just gonna stick some metal tape on the backside. And then we'll take the metal tape off after it hardens. This is just ducting tape, but it's really, really sticky and it's really hard foil. It's a really, really thick foil. Not like your cooking foil. It's even thicker than that. So it should seal it off pretty good, hopefully. Like I said, we'll just take it back off after it all hardens up. One right there. What's going on here? I don't understand all this technology. What is this? All right. Seal up. Seal it up. Can you see? Good? All right, let's do it. It didn't say how long you mix this. Some of the resins will tell you have to mix for 5 minutes. I'm not feeling a bunch of heat coming off of it like I normally do. We're not doing a big project. We're just doing small holes, so it shouldn't be a really big of a deal. Just hope it doesn't take 2 days to dry. Let's start with the big holes. Oop. Oop. Pours that really fast. Probably should put plastic on the table. Now I need to decide if I want to do like a satin kind of natural wood finish on this, or if I want to, oh, that stuff, man, comes out fast. I gotta stop talking. See, it's so thick it pours out crazy. You ready to go get some lunch? You're still a little skittish, aren't you? We go get some lunch. Let's go eat. All right, as you've seen, I got the top pretty smooth. Next, I am going to start trying to make these little grooves where it looks like the clamps are squeezing the wood, almost like the wood's made of like rubber, and it's kind of squeezing it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I did just run to Home Depot and I picked up some of these Dremel bits. I don't know if they're gonna be big enough to do what we wanna do here, but I'm gonna start here. So I may end up switching bits several times. I may end up switching tools. I've never done this before, so it's gonna be just kind of a trial and error until we achieve the look we want. So wish me luck. What you cooking?
Steak.
Yum yum. Making me hungry. Tank said he's hungry too. Do you want some steak for that big belly? Do you want some steak for that big belly? All right, since we got so much resin left over, I'm gonna go ahead and just try to resin the whole piece, see how it comes out. It's a little bit of a gamble, but if it turns out good, it'll be worth it. Now I'm gonna put plastic down and I'm going to build a border around the edge of the plastic just to raise it up. The reason I'm doing that is because when we're pouring it all over this live edge top, it's raining down the sides. I don't want it running down the table and then running onto the floor and hardening. It's really difficult to get up. So we'll just put some plastic down, put a couple of boards around the edge so it kind of builds a lip so the resin can't run off the table. Now you may not be able to tell, but this piece has a little bit of a crown in the middle. Tried to sand out most of it, got it pretty flat, but that's why I say it's going to be a little bit risky doing the resin. The worst mistake I ever made working with resin is when I got down to the very bottom, I started scraping everything off the bottom to try to get it all out. Well, that stuff that I scraped off the bottom, it never hardened. And I just kind of drizzled it over the piece and it just left a tacky, sticky spot that the whole entire piece had to be worked back down to get that fixed again. So just pour what's in here and don't take your scraper at the end and try to get every last bit of it out of there like you would cake batter or something. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to stir real fast or shake either. You're going to get a whole bunch of bubbles in there and it's going to make your top look like crud. Now I've seen another YouTuber that makes a lot of cutting boards and stuff out of resin, and whenever she's mixing the resin, yeah, she puts on the music, she starts dancing to it, and she gets 2 million views. So that'll work for me too, right? So shake it. Now my viewer count does jump up to 1 million views because of that. I'm gonna be dancing in every video. A lot of y'all just went, no! Now you can use a heat gun or a torch. I've used both in the past. If you've never dealt with resin before, it may be hard to see, but there's actually a lot of bubbles in this. And there's some spots that the resin's not sticking to. I may have to go through and do a second coat, but we'll see. But see all the bubbles popping? And the heat's just gonna pop all the bubbles in there. You just keep going till all the bubbles are out. I don't know why it's not sticking to certain spots. Maybe the oil-based stain is making it harder for a stick, or maybe there's something in the wood. Okay, it's looking really great so far. We are getting some separation in certain spots, and I'm just constantly chasing them. So I think what I'm gonna do is just stop there, let it dry, and then we'll come back through and do a second layer on top, and hopefully it'll fill in all those spots. I'm assuming it's because of the oil-based stain, it's not adhering to the stain in really hard spots in the wood, or it may just be because it's a really hard spot in the wood. I'm not sure. Maybe there's somebody that's more of an expert on this that's watching that can give us an idea of what's going on, but we'll let this dry. We'll give it a little scuff, and then we'll come through and do another layer on top. I mean, everything we've been doing out of these $30 epoxies, I still have a ton left. We're not even halfway through it yet. Okay, I just read on the bottle it's going to take 24 hours to harden, 72 hours to fully harden. So I have other work that I need to do here, so I don't like the idea of doing it, but I'm going to put some blankets down in the guest house, and I'm going to move this out to the guest house to let it dry so I don't get any crud in it in here while I'm working on other pieces.